Let's do a very simple cabochon wrap. This is, I don't know what this is. Do you guys know what this is? It's so pretty. I don't even know if you can see all the, it's like translucent. It's like this very faint purplish clear, and then it has like almost like gold leaf, like this brown, looks like a painter just did some strokes, some abstract brush strokes with some dark black and a little bit of brown. I don't know, whatever, it's really pretty. Somebody gifted it to me. Let's do 18 gauge and 26 gauge, real simple. Take how much should we take? About a foot of the 18 gauge, and we're just gonna put it tight on the table, and we're just gonna bring it to the middle of the wire. And how did I do that? Let me see if I can remember. No, my bad. First, make a loop. Make a loop in the middle of the wire, about as big as you want the loop to be for the bail, or the top half to connect to a bail. Don't make it too small because you're gonna need this to wrap some parts around. So this is about the size of a green pea, slightly bigger. Make it a little tighter. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna put this tight, and we're just gonna wrap, pressing it tight. We're gonna wrap it around here and here, and we want to keep it tight on the table. All right, pressing it. Okay, now take this off and trying to hold it tight so it doesn't shrink up. We're going to give it a twist like this. Okay. Good. Now, normally I'd fold one part over the top and one part over the back, and that would be really pretty, but I don't want to obscure any of this stone. It's not a large stone, and it's got a lot of pretty stuff going on. So I'm going to try to show the entire face of the stone. So therefore, I'm going to fold both sides over the back. Let's see if this will work. So we'll take, maybe we'll do a double twist, because double twists hold better. Single twist can come undone. So we're folding this over the back. And let's see. All right, we're still good. All right, we're holding it just like this, not letting it slip around, real carefully, pressing it, holding it from all positions. We've got fingers on both sides, and grab these two carefully, and just kind of you can bring them straight up, or you can do a pattern. I'm just gonna do a little swirl back and forth, not swirl, just a little curve back and forth, just pressing it on the stone. There we go. Get it a little more, so if they do happen to see the back of it, they'll say, oh, it looks so pretty on the back too. Not that your job is to make it look pretty on the back, but it's funny how people appreciate little extra things that you would think don't matter. Something matters to everybody. That's what I'm learning. All right, look at that. That would make a really cool pattern for the front of a stone. But let's just save that for another time. And we're gonna wrap these around here, around the top loop. I call this scarfing, or you give it like a scarf, and wrap around 2 times. Stack the wraps, pull them out like that, cut them halfway across the loop, and tuck them in to the little bowl created by, sometimes I'll be a real stickler for cutting just not too much, not too little, because it makes a huge difference when you go to tuck it. So you want to pinch, get these towards the middle of the bowl, and then pinch them down like a diagonal, pinch them right in to the bowl so they never come out and scratch anyone. All right, now this is holding itself. Why? Because this outer ridge is actually a little bit over the face of the stone. It's not completely on the edge. It's a little bit in front, so it's actually holding it. See? but it's not going to hold it completely if a lot of pressure is applied. So now we're just going to take the thin 26 gauge and take about, probably not going to need this much, we'll take about 1.5 feet. And we're just going to crisscross it across the face of it, and that'll give it just enough extra hold. But it's so thin, it's not going to really obscure the beauty of the stone. But you will see it a little bit, and it'll look kind of neat. That's my opinion. Maybe I say it'll look kind of neat. So we're starting the easiest spot. You could start here, or you can start at the bottom. We're just anchoring from the middle of the wire. So now we have 2 pieces of wire to play with. I always like to anchor from the middle of the wire if I can, because then I have 2 pieces of wire to play with, like I just said. All right, so you can also anchor the back better too. I don't want it to come out from here. I want it to come out somewhere over here. So I'm going to start threading it through this part here. And I said on the last video, threading is, whoops, there goes the stone. Threading is a delicate art. At first it gets frustrating because, now here's another reason why the back, it's better to have a little swirl rather than going straight up, because now when we're threading this part, the wire can grab different parts of the swirl, like anchor parts. If it's going straight up, the wire will slide up and down a lot more. So something to think about when you're threading stuff, having sharp corners and loops and stuff makes it easier to thread things. All right, so we're going to come around here, and we're going to go through here and pull it so it comes right there, and then we're going to come right around the face of the stone, and we don't want to come straight across. We want to do a cool diagonal, because we're going to kind of make this like a star formation, like just diagonals, a tapestry of diagonals, and come through right there. And then how do we keep that from sliding up and down? We come in the back and we anchor it to a part where it's not going to move too much, just like that curve right there. And it'll want to move all around. You place it where you want it, because part of threading is, as you're pulling it tight, it might sometimes move where you don't want it to. It might make a coil you don't want, and that'll become a kink. So sometimes you got to baby it and be gentle as you're pulling it through. You can't just machine really fast. Maybe you can after many years, but I'm still relatively new at threading it. See how easy that is though? And right now, just that one right there, it's already going to start holding better. And now you don't have to go to the next wire. You can keep playing with this one. Let's see, what can we do? Thread it through here. And sometimes I got to pull with my fingernail to get it underneath, because as it gets tighter, it'll be harder to thread it under some of the parts. And then you also got to be careful you're not pulling too hard and changing the shape of it or popping the stone out. All right, so that's going to be good. Pull that tight. It's pretty tight. And we'll come across another nice diagonal right here. Just come right through here. Whoops. Where are we coming? It's pretty tight there. It doesn't want to come through. There we go. Now, I gave myself less wire on this side, so this side's about to be over with. Let's see. What's another place we can anchor it? I don't really see another place. You don't always have to go to the back. You can come straight across here now if you want, because that's like a cool diagonal right there. So we'll go through here. Oops. Right through there. And I said in the last video that with the turtles that threading can be a pain, because it doesn't work. If you're used to sewing, it doesn't work the way a sewing thread does. It bounces, it kinks, you got to guide it better. But after you get good at it, it really becomes fun. It becomes like an adventure to see how every time you get a really good part threaded through, it feels like a little victory. All right, so this wire is pretty much done. When you have like an inch left, you're done. So what I do, there's several different ways to hide the extra end. If I can get it up to the top, I'll wrap it around a few times and stick it in that little bowl like the others. Ooh, that one looks like it needs to be tucked again. Speaking of which. But if you're down here and you have nowhere else to tuck it, what I do is I turn it into a little swirl. I give it a little teeny tiny bend like that, and then I start coiling it into a little swirl, because that swirl now has some bulk, and we can shove it underneath. And bam, it's gone. It's not going to get pulled out. It's not going to get rubbed or snagged on anything, and it's tight. Let's make it extra sure. I just press that down and press that in a little tighter, and that's it. Okay, now we have this wire left to play with, and we could just do a few more diagonals just to be on the safe side. Let's see. Let's come across this right here. There we go. There. Now we have a nice diagonal coming down that way. Come through here. Good. Pull it tight. Anchor it to. Let's see. We almost have no wire left. I give myself again like just barely enough. So let's conserve this last wire and see where do we want to put it. I'm not going to anchor it to the back again. It's tight in the back, tight in the front. We just want one more diagonal across here to end the beauty of the whole piece. So I'm gonna thread under this one more time, like that. Sometimes you want to thread it around twice. It makes it extra strong. Also, if you keep threading it around one part, you can build up to another area and then come out if you want. So I'm going to make this last diagonal come right across there, because that'll finish off the whole pattern, kind of make it look complete. So I'm gonna go under here and pull it tight, and that works for me. And now just anchor it in the back and hide it, and we are done. We can anchor it right there. This is probably really strong, but I feel like I have this part and this part. Maybe I should anchor it right there. Nah, I'm just gonna end it. Just put it right under there, because this stone is tight. It's not popping out. You know, we can just go right under here, and then we will get that spot. Yay. There we go. Now, go one more time under here. And come on, get under there. Pull it tight. Sorry when the camera doesn't always focus. It has a mind of its own. Let's go under it twice. Get under there. Sometimes the pliers are easier, sometimes your fingers are easier. You'll just learn what works for you. Sometimes back and forth from pliers to fingers, depending on what you're doing. You get better pliers. This plier keeps slipping. Come on, get up there. There we go. All right, swirl and tuck. Get rid of that last end. And it's gone. I'm feeling this. How about you? Now, if you feel like there's any wires that are a little loose, like popping up too high from the stone, you can crimp them in the back, because I feel like the back is not what we're showing off. I don't want to crimp the front because I want my straight lines. If I wanted like lightning bolt zigzag lines, then I could crimp the front too. Crimping always tightens things up, and it usually strengthens the tightness of your entire piece. It makes the stone or stones more secure. You want to be careful. You want to go straight down when you crimp, hold it very tight, and then give it a little turn. If you do too gentle, you'll slip and scratch it, and you don't want to do that. Okay, I feel like we're done. You can turn this a quarter turn that way and put your cord right through it, or you can do what I like to do, add a few jump rings. The jump rings kind of mirror the scarfing, and it adds like an extra little dimension to make your bail complete.